because I have a few people who were not able to make it, who really want to watch the recording and do these practices on their own at home later. Thank you all so much for being here. Please do let me know in the chat if anyone needs anything or needs that link again who comes in late. And I wanna just say how thrilled I am to be in this space with you all today and to have this time together. It feels really sacred to me. Thank you for finding the space in your lives and this time and taking this time to be together and to breathe and to write today. I feel just very lucky to get to be led by Felicia Savage Friedman, who is one of my heroes, um, and to connect with Sheba and Maya and everyone at YogaRoots On Location. And I'm just excited for Yoga Roots and Be Where You Are to come together in this way today. So doesn't matter how late we're starting. We're doing this. We're here, right?
Right, right. And you know, Emily, thank you for that because in my yoga classes that I've taught for 30 years, there is no late. So when you show up, you're on time, you know. I see, we talked about this in terms of, both of us being late in our lives. And I think it's just, you know, that's oppressive when we say that we're late, because then we feel as though we're not enough or, we didn't do something. And it's not. We showed up when we needed to. And so we're here, So thank you. Thank you, Emily. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Felicia. So I am really thrilled to just get into it, but I also want you all to know who's in the room and what we're going to do today. So I'm going to ask Felicia in a minute to give you a brief intro for people who came by way of the Be Where You Are Writing and Mindfulness newsletter. And I already introduced myself to the Yoga Roots teachers who are in training. So I think we're good there. But I just want to say briefly who I am. I'm a poet and a writer, and I write the Be Where You Are newsletter, looking at the intersections between writing and mindfulness practice, and how can we use those practices to just live better days and be in community more fully with each other. And I also have the privilege and joy of teaching Mad Women in the Attic writing workshops. These workshops, if you don't know about them, are for women and non-binary writers. They're based at Carlow University in Pittsburgh, but the majority of them have been online since the pandemic, and they're very affordable. And if money is a barrier in any way, there are scholarships available. So I just want you to get that name in your mind if you haven't heard it yet, Mad Women in the Attic. If you are a woman and non-binary writer and looking for writing community, it's a really incredible space and place to learn and grow your craft and connect with other writers. Um, and I want to shift to Felicia. If you can tell us who you are and what brings you to this space.
Woo. Thank you, Emily. I just saw a dear friend, student of mine, Hannah. So I'm very emotional right now. I'm giving you all my accurate location. Um, yeah. So, whew.
Do you want me to give you a minute, Felicia? And I can keep going?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Nope. If you just give me this time to just let this move through,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be helpful. And then, yep, thank you. Thank you for
Absolutely.
that offering. Um, yeah, I'm feeling very humbled right now. Whew. Okay. So, see a couple of friends on here. So thank you, Jeannie. Oh, yeah. So for those of you who this is my introduction, welcome to my world. This is part of who I am. I'm very much a feeling person, and I'm not ashamed of that, and I'm not going to apologize. I'm showing up fully human. I I am Felicia Savage Friedman. I was going to say first in her name. She, her, hers are my pronouns. I'm the founder and CEO of YogaRoots On Location. I've been a practicing Raja Yoga practitioner and teacher and trainer for 35 years. And that's Mark. Oh, hi, Mark. Oh, my goodness. We need to get together. Yes. Oh, my gosh. So much of my world is just coming together here in this space. Oh, my gosh. Yes. Yeah, I'm the founder and CEO of YogaRoots On Location. It is an anti-racist Raja Yoga school curriculum that I had put together, and I am able to continue to co-create curriculum and the implementation with the esteemed Sheba Giddens and Maya Savage. I am so honored to co-facilitate the yoga teacher trainings. Born and raised here in Pittsburgh. So I rep 15219, which is the Hill District. I was born right down the street from August Wilson's birthplace. And I grew up in Lincoln, Leamington, East Liberty, Larmer, and raised my children here in 15206. Grown children. Maya Savage is my baby, my yoga baby. Who I'm honored to be able to continue to do this work with. Sheba is a student, a mentor, my colleague, all of those combined has been with me doing the training. She came in as a student, and they were also a trainer at that time too. So we're able to just bring our flight number 7 to this space. And I'm just so honored. We called it a field trip to be able to come into, the space of bringing our meditation practices and our reflective practices of writing. All of our people in the yoga teacher training are creative. Whether they may see that or not, they are, and quite gifted and extraordinary in their own genres. So I'm honored to be able to be here with you, Emily. And Emily, and I call him Dr. Nico, her husband, have been very supportive of me for many years. So I felt really compelled to answer the call to be able to co-facilitate with you. So I hope I've gotten anything else I should share, you all. I think, yeah, I'm just so tender. Prayerfully, I've shared what I needed to. My CV is really extensive. You can check me out online. I'm super certified to do all of that I do. I'm able to bring this analysis of embodied understanding of oppression and being creative within community to the School of Medicine at the University of Pittsburgh. So I'm the first faculty appointment at the University of Pittsburgh, which is my alma mater in the School of Medicine, teaching an anti-racism and social equity class to second and first year medical students. And, and we'll see where that goes right now, you all. Everything is ephemeral, and we know that as, yogi practitioners. And I'm taking it a day at a time, but I'm able to speak a lot of my truth, but not the whole truth, because that system is not ready for it. And I understand that. So I have some discernment with what I share. But I'm excited to be able to be here with you, Emily, for real. This is refreshing. And it's out of my comfort zone. So because I have been so emotionally charged. So my students get to see me in real time, navigate my practice um, in community. So I'm really honored and humbled. I'll pass it back to you, Emily.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Felicia. Thank you so much. I feel the same. I feel honored and humbled. And this is, I think, one of the deep threads that we share is that belief that everyone is creative and um, I guess that tenderness. So my students have certainly seen me cry many, many times. And I think it's one of the reasons that I'm excited for us to write together today is that I know that I don't know what each of you are carrying into this space and what you're holding right now, but I know that the page and your breath can handle it. It can hold it for you, you know? And that's something I believe really deeply because it saved me in my life and not in any intellectual way, but in a heart way. So that's what I want us to do just together today in the time that we have left. Um, so I want to put in the chat because I put this in the link for people who learned about this through my newsletter. I put this in information about yoga roots into the post about this workshop, but I wanted to make sure that you know that this workshop is free to participate. But if you are able to donate, if that's not a hardship for you and you feel moved, we're going to give any donations today to Yoga Roots on Location. And you can give in 3 different ways. So I put that in the chat. There's no pressure to do that right now to take you out of that space, but if you want to pull the link up for later. That would be wonderful. And it's really okay if you cannot do that. Okay. So I just wanted to share that before we get started. Because I really believe in the work that Felicia and Shiva and Maya and you all are doing to really, I think, change our community in Pittsburgh and also beyond, far beyond. So what I would love for everyone to do now is actually just to share a little bit about yourself in the chat. I think we have too many people and too little time to be able to go around and do what I wish we could do, which is like each of us just introduce ourselves verbally. But if you're able, if you could share your name and your pronouns in the chat, where are you in the world? I know we have a lot of Pittsburgh people, but I think not everyone. And what is your intention today? What are you hoping for in the time that we have together? Let's all take a couple minutes and do that. And then we're going to meditate and write. Thank you all for what you're sharing in the chat. I really appreciate just hearing where you are and what you're hoping for in this time. I love what Hannah shared about resting in the beloved community. I really appreciate just that language, and that feels so true. Um, really appreciate that. Janine, I love that you're a proud YogaRoots On Location graduate. It's so wonderful to meet all of you who are new to me. Yay. Tapping into creativity and release some deeper holdings onto paper. Maya, I really appreciate that, and surrendering to the process. That's beautiful. Thank you. It's beautiful. Deepen your sense of self and being, Ebony. I hear that. I love that. Alana, oh, I'm so happy you're a part of Mad Women. Once you're in the Mad Women, you're always a Mad Woman. And I get the sense it's the same with YogaRoots On Location. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna pass the mic back. Thank you for sharing those intentions, and we're hearing them and holding them with you. I want to pass the mic back to Felicia to bring us into some meditation, some centering time.
I was just looking through we've lost our Liz, you all, or is she here? London, because I didn't see London represented. So if we could, Sheba, Maya, if we could email the link to Liz, because we've gone across the pond, across the Atlantic Ocean into London. Yeah, so I was just making sure all my folks were here. So in this moment, let's just ground and center ourselves. Have intentionality. So if you have something in your hands, let it be. And however you need to ground and center yourself, you can lay back or, just get a little bit more relaxation in your bodies. And bringing us into a noticing practice, a noticing your breath in this moment. Just being a witness to the air coming in and going out of your nose or your mouth. Just noticing. Noticing in preparation for. So feeling where your body makes contact with the earth. So it could be your feet, your hips, your legs, your back. And in this moment, I really want you to feel your connection to the earth. Feel that you are supported, you are loved, you are being held by the earth. And continuing to breathe. No particular pace, just showing up for yourself in this moment. And in noticing your connection to the earth, feel the connection through the mycelium, so through the earth, through the original World Wide Web, feeling the connection to each person here and extending that across the globe, because we are all connected. Feel that connection. receive that connection, and let us celebrate that connection by being in community, intentional community, with our reflective practice here that we're about to undertake. So feeling the connection. And let us extend that connection beyond Turtle Island, beyond our Earth, and feeling the connection cosmically, because we are all energy and we're connected to everything. And so holding this connection, this relationship tenderly, and continuing to breathe. And may you slowly transition back to our collective space, really honoring your transitions, honoring the connections that you've just reflected in your physical body, in your mind body, your emotional bodies. And let us continue to hold ourselves as well as each other tenderly as we notice how we're connected. And when you're ready, you can open up our eyes, and I'll hand the baton back to Emily.
Thank you so much for that. Oh, Liz is here. Yay.
Yay! Awesome, Liz. Welcome.
Welcome, Liz. Thank you so much for that meditation. I cheated and opened my eyes once or twice because I wanted to write down a couple things you said.
Mm.
I loved the what you said about the mycelium being the original World Wide Web.
And
Ooh,
that's not original, so I'm saying that on record. I
yeah,
don't
it's
know.
recorded. Nobody else take that. I want to write about that. You know, I love that. And then, yeah, I felt so much kind of feeling when you said we are energy, that we are connected. I could, thank you. Just thank you for sharing that with us.
Yes, absolutely.
So we're going to write a little bit. And before we dive into it, I wanted to just make clear that the prompt I'm going to share is not prescriptive in any way. So the way I think of prompt can kind of make you think of school and an assignment. This is not that. So I want you to think of it more as like an invitation and a possible path. All right. So I'm going to read a poem. For accessibility, so you can see it too. If you're like me and you like to kind of read along, I'm going to share it with you visually in a minute. And then I'm going to give you a couple possible paths you can travel to respond to it. But really, do whatever you want to do. Use this time for you. Okay. It can be simply, journaling. It can be responding to it in some way other than what I lay out for you. All right. Um, so modify. So we called this workshop Refuge and Community. And I've been thinking this week about that word refuge. And um, one reason I like that intention and that word is that meditation and writing are two practices, probably the two main practices, other than hugs, that and maybe music. Okay, there's a lot of practices, but these are like my two main ones, right? That really help me create my own sense of refuge, even when I'm alone. And, and then doing them in community with others, it just kind of supercharges it, you know? It makes it, I think, a lot deeper and richer. So I hope that we can lean into this writing time and this reflection time and think about it in terms of us literally creating a refuge, right, for ourselves and for each other. Um, no matter how we're feeling or kind of what's coming at us, because there's a lot coming at us right now, um, all of us, right, in different ways, from the external world. So when I think of refuge, I think of shelter or protection. That's what kind of comes to me first. I also think of safety and a place where you can be nurtured. And I think of love. Like if I had to say it in one word, when I hear refuge, I think love. So, in the spirit of that, I came back to a poem that I've always loved by Alice Walker. Um, and I'm going to put the link to this prompt in the chat, and then I'm going to screen share. But you can pull it up for yourself if you want to be able to, make it bigger or kind of scroll down on your own. And I'm just going to read this for us, and then we're going to write. Okay. While love is unfashionable for Mel, while love is unfashionable, let us live unfashionably, seeing the world a complex ball in small hands, love our blackest garment. Let us be poor in all but truth and courage handed down by the old spirits. Let us be intimate with ancestral ghosts and music of the undead. While love is dangerous, let us walk bareheaded beside the great river. Let us gather blossoms under fire. I'm so grateful for this poem. And I want you, so there's a couple possible paths here. The first one is just start writing right now if you feel inspired in some way. Write in whatever direction you feel inspired to write and in whatever form. And please do not worry about full sentences or spelling or any of that, okay? Just breathe and write what comes because that's the good stuff. You don't need to correct anything. Some other possible paths to follow are using some of the structures that Alice Walker uses in her poem. So, this line, while love is unfashionable, let us live unfashionably. You could borrow the structure of that line and use it to start your own writing. Like, while truth is ignored, let us, right? And make it fit what you're feeling right now. You can also just repeat this phrase. So there's something, a fancy poetry word is anaphora. And it's when you take a phrase and you kind of start each line or every other line with that phrase. And I love how she uses let us, right? I can go back and show you. But throughout the poem, it's a very gentle kind of construction, right? It's not commanding, but it's inviting, right? Let us live unfashionably, right? Let us be poor in all but truth and courage, right? So you could just borrow that, your poem or your essay or story or whatever it is, journaling could just be let us be this, let us try this, right? Um, and then the last kind of possible path I was thinking of was just writing about what does the word love or refuge bring up for you? You know, it could be a physical place, a person, an animal, a forest, a community, a practice, could be anything, lots of things I didn't name. write about that, write into that space and ask yourself, what does it feel like in a kind of embodied way, right? To be in a space of love or refuge. And maybe there's an image or a metaphor um, that can name that, and kind of hold that. Um, okay. So we're going to write. I'm going to stop screen sharing just because I want to be able to see you and see the chat. Feel free when you write to turn the camera off. If it's like making you feel like you're making weird writing faces and you don't want to, yeah, so feel free to do that. Just be comfortable. Feel free to get up and move around if that helps you. All right. I'm going to set a timer for 10 minutes. We're going to write. And then, or actually, I'm going to do it for 8 minutes, given our time. If people need to leave right at 10, sorry, at 1:30. Okay. So I'm going to set it for 8 minutes and then we'll check back in and do some sharing. All right. Okay. The timer just went off, but please, if you are on a roll, keep going. Feel free to just keep following your star and ignore me. Keep going. We're going to extend the time because we got such a late start. For anyone who can stay, we will keep going until for another, I would say until about 1:50 your time, maybe a little bit longer if that's okay for everybody. So just want to let you know. Take another minute or two and try to like, get out whatever's still in your head, kind of bring it to a landing, and then we're going to come back together again. All right, and when you're ready, come on back together. And you can turn your camera back on if you're able. And I'm going to pass back to Felicia for some meditation time. Um, and what we'll do is we'll meditate again, do some more embodied meditation with Felicia. Be sure to take a second. I feel like when you come out of writing, sometimes you're like not aware of how you're holding your body when you're writing. I know I like hunch over and get really intense, kind of stretch your shoulders a little. Yeah. Um, just do what you need to do to be here. And we'll have Felicia is going to lead us again in some meditation. And then we're going to circle back to what we just wrote and do a little more writing again before we meditate and then head out for the day. Okay. So I'm going to pass the mic back to you, Felicia. Oh, and we are going to have time to share at the end
Right,
in
that's what I
different
was saying.
ways. Yeah, that's so important. So we're going to leave time for that
Right, for
in the
sharing.
chat and also some people to share verbally as well. Okay.
Yes,
We
yes.
might go, should I say this? Could we go until the end, like the top of the hour for
Top
people
of the
who can't
hour.
stay? Is that okay? Okay, I
Yeah,
would love to. I don't want to lose any time with you all, and I want to make sure we have time to share. All right, cool. If
yeah,
you need to leave,
right,
please feel free to do that and don't feel bad about it, okay? Because
right.
yeah,
Yeah,
that was
leave with no shame.
exactly.
We're not practicing shame. Yes. And I know the yogis, we're here until 6 together. So We're good. And then we'll go to lunch after that, right, Sheba Maya? So, yep. So at the top of the hour when we, yeah, are finishing our space here. So if we could, I want you to just release anything that's in your hands. If you're eating food, please continue to eat unabashedly. Take good care of yourself. Um, want folks to just check in a moment. Just check in with yourself. Notice, what do you need in this moment? Like, do you need to go to the bathroom? Do you need to get something to drink? Giving yourself permission in this moment to really take care of your physical body. So just noticing, what do you need? Yeah, do you need to adjust your space? So giving yourself permission to tweak your body's position, really honoring yourselves. Writing to a prompt of Alice Walker is a lot for our body to hold, right? So really honoring that we are human in this moment in time. I plan to come back as a butterfly personally, but that's my my plan. We'll see. Or not at all. Right. Um, but just honoring our bodies, you know, and honoring the tenderness that may have come up for you, even in the writing, right? So sit in whatever position you wish to be in for us to, again, hold space for ourselves. Again, bringing ourselves back to our feet. Let's start with our feet. And so feeling our feet from the inside. Or you can lay hands on yourself. You can rub your feet, you know, if you feel that that would be helpful to help you to ground. And bring thankfulness, gratefulness for our feet. And in our practice, the feet hold the significance of our roots, our foundation, our beliefs and values. So those things that we hold precious. So really grounding and centering in through the preciousness of our practices. And this time I'll be silent for about 3 minutes. So you don't hear my voice, but you hear your inner voice, your inner yogi, your inner teacher. And then I'll bring you back out with breath. So, and during this time, give yourself permission to just honor yourselves. Whatever comes up, whatever care you need to take of yourself. See you soon. Inhale, exhale, pause. Inhale, exhale, pause. Inhale, exhale, pause. Continue breathing at your own pace as you honorably transition back to our collective space. Back to you, Emily.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Felicia. Oof. Um, I really appreciate having that time to meditate, knowing that you all are there. Those 3 minutes, I am someone who's struggled to find community around meditation. So I mostly do it, I just do it alone. And that was so beautiful to have my eyes closed and you said, okay, 3 minutes, you're going to be listening to your inner voice, right? Your inner yogi, but to know that you all were there, doing that at the same time, that felt really powerful. So thank you. Thank you for leading us in that, Felicia. So what I want us to do, we're just going to take a couple minutes to come back to our writing because I find it uh, almost every time I come back right away after drafting something that, is really new and kind of fresh. When you look at it again, there's a lot of writers say, okay, when you write something, you should put it in a drawer, for months. And then when you come back, you have fresh eyes. And there can be value in that, right? For some kinds of pieces. But I find that when you're writing as a practice, like if you're writing every morning, with meditation and in your journal, it's really nice to look back even just a few minutes later and see what do you have on the page? What did you actually write, right? And really read it almost like you're reading a letter from a friend, like your past self, even your recent past self, and sit with it and see what else comes. Because I think often you can kind of extend or deepen or dig in with something that's already there. So that's what I'm going to have us do. And I'm going to put a little bit of language in the chat um, just to give you direction about this last kind of writing practice before we do some sharing. Okay. So in the chat, I'm just going to read what's there, but you can also see it there. So if you take back out whatever you were writing from before and just look at it, and I want you to read it again with that open mind and heart that Felicia just brought us back into. And I want you to circle or star or underline, like whatever feels right. If you have like a colored marker near you, that can be fun. Bring some color into it. Any words or phrases that feel like they're kind of calling out to you, like they're vibrating or they have some, I like to think of it as heat. If you've been in one of my workshops, like what has some heat, where you feel like, ooh, that word or that phrase, there's something more I want to say about that. All right. And I'm just going to set a timer for 5 more minutes. And I want you to kind of follow that path and really ask yourself, what do you want to say right now? That inner you, um, you can put it on the paper, and no matter what it is, the paper can hold it. That page is powerful and it can handle any of your words, and you don't have to show it to anybody unless you want to. Okay, so 5 more minutes. Let's write in whatever way makes sense for you. That's 5 minutes. Take another minute and keep following whatever thread you're on. And if you're really feeling inspired, just keep going. Okay. But for those who are bringing it to a landing, we'll come back together in a minute. All right. So for those of you who are ready to come back, Felicia and I would love to just have some space for people to share. And I'll kind of say how I usually like to do it in my workshops, Felicia, and then please add anything else in. I really love just opening the space for people to share either about their process, or sharing some language that you got. Like maybe you got a phrase or a line, or something that you really love and you want to put it in the chat. I would love for everyone to share in some way, and just given our numbers and time, we won't all be able to share verbally, in the next 8 minutes or so. But I would love it if, everybody can put maybe something in the chat that they got. Like, did you have a realization? Did you come to like an important question? Did you just love this one